G'day YouTube, I hope everybody's staying safe in these interesting times. I'm not going to talk about that one. I am here to talk about Lego trains. I haven't done one of these videos for a while and I wanted to do one of my little tutorial videos I haven't done because I had something I wanted to add to my train layout. And that was one of these little cars, just very simple coal car. I've just wanted, like, some of these small cars I think add so much character to a layout. I've always said I come from sort of the background of having a Hornsby HO train set when I was growing up. I always loved Thomas the Tank Engines, very akin to something like the those cheeky coal wagons in Thomas the Tank Engine. For anyone who watches them, they're always getting the engines into trouble and running them off the tracks and things like that. So I wanted to build something. Now I've sort of compromised a bit in terms of how I've done it, but the fundamental shell of what I've done here, you can adjust what you want. That's the beauty of kind of this design, and I'll be up front now and say a couple of the parts inside aren't right, like there's green parts in there. That's just because I didn't have the right ones I wanted. So when I do the tutorial, I'll actually show you those parts I've sort of compromised, but in the parts list that you can find down below in the description, it's a BrickLink list, and I will write instructions on how to import it because I know people have had issues before. I'll show you how to actually sort of what colours it should be, and I've gone with this kind of black and a light grey on the inside because I think that kind of dash of colour really just transforms it from being like a black monolith, aka, you know, something out of 2001, to actually something that's really kind of nice, and just putting a little light on the end here as well I think really adds to it. Just a brake handle on the bottom here, very simple. Now the underside of it you can do whatever you like with. I've just put that there because I had the parts for it and I thought it looked quite good. I do want to have a go at putting a bit more under here, but that's not really the goal of this tutorial. It's just to show you how to build something like this one. And if you guys like this one, I'm going to be doing a few more. Like, I want to do some proper wagons, I want to do a brake car, things like that, to build out some trains that something like our good friend the 7810, or modern version of, would look quite comfortable pulling, as you can see. That would be right at home together. Those two trains would be absolutely perfect. So a few cars like that, absolutely perfect scale for this. So that's why I'm going to work on a few of these. So I'm just going to show you in a bit more detail, and then we'll go into how to put it together. And where I've used sort of the wrong part, so I didn't have a part, I will show you what part I would have used, so you know. And in the parts list, as I said, it will be the right parts for you. So particularly on the corner parts, I like the way this came out though. I will say up front, I'm very happy with this one. I sent this one to my friend Dr. McBrick, and he was like, oh, that's really cool. This is using, I will say up front, I borrowed the actual wheels and the base plate from the hidden side train, which means, for those of you that don't know, Lego has moved to the new style plastic wheels. I can't comment on whether or not I love or hate them. I'm not really that bothered. They're still wheels, they still spin. Some people are moaning they're going to wear out quickly. I don't know, I'm not convinced. I mean, I don't run my trains hard enough to actually worry about that one. So maybe if I ran my trains, you know, 24/7 for a year, they'd wear a little bit. But I don't think that's going to be an issue in this case. So I'm going to show you a bit more detail on this one, and then we'll break it down and build it. Here you can see it hooked up to my favourite cargo train, the 60052. Love this thing, beauty. But it looks right at home there behind it. Scale's good, size is good. It's a small one, it's not a long one. I could have done one that was that long, didn't want to. I wanted it this size. As I said, it goes well with those other trains. So looking at it in a bit more detail, you can see these are just minifigure plates, 1x4 tiles, and a 4x4 modified tile there, just with the studs on. And again on the end here, again same thing, minifigure base plate and 1x4. I had these pieces and they are absolutely perfect for this, I think. And I've used it like that, as I said, to go over the buffer here. Now I've set this down ever so slightly. I think you can see that one in the video, hopefully, if that's going to focus for me. There we go. So you can see that it actually sits slightly below the base plate there. And that was by design. So effectively you've got 3 studs above the plate here. That was how I wanted it because I thought it gave a nice smooth finish. I think that looks right. I tried setting it high, and you know, if you don't have that overlap, it looks a little bit funky because you've kind of got this edge there, and it doesn't look right to me. So I went with this approach here. As I said, this wheel underneath is it's not the best put on there. I was kind of trying to show effect. I was trying to find the right piece for that one. I'm going to have a play with that and try and fix it. But I really just wanted to show you guys something under there. And then on the front here, just a really simple lamp. And again, just normal buffer pieces here. And those wheels I said. So if you can see, like, there's no metal axle between them. They are literally just clip-in wheels. So let's break this down and put it together again and show you how it goes together. In the parts list, I'll include the traditional style bogie, so that's the traditional style wheels, sorry, so that's this part with the wheels and the metal bar. You can swap it for the plastic ones if you want, up to you. Let's start off by taking one of these. Now this would ideally be a 2x12, but I don't have one, so this is a 2x10, which lines up there. Now a 2x12 would go 2 studs further, which would be great. Then we'll put the other one on there. Position the bogies like that, and you can the buffers on the end there, and you can see why I said that would ideally be a 2x12, because there is 2 studs unsupported there, which is fine for this. And then just a 2x8 to fill in the gap there, because I don't like it being empty. And then here's our 6x12 base plate. Put it on the top there. You see what I mean? That would have lined up absolutely perfectly, but it doesn't matter. That's going to be plenty strong enough. So that's going to be the base of what we build. Now I'm going to build 2 sides here. I've kept 2 of my sides together because I don't need to build all 4 for this. So let's start off by doing the shorter of the 2 sides. So I'm going to take one of these. This is one of my minifigure bases. One 2x4, another 2x4, and a 2x3 to go in the middle there, and that's going to sit over the buffer there. So next we take one 1x4 and another 1x4, and that's literally how you build the end of it. Take one of these 1x4 bricks with the studs on the side and put it on there, and that's it. That's the end piece. That'll just go on there and you're done. Easy as that. So just still there so you can see it properly. Now to do the sides, we're going to take another one of these 1x3s, 3x4 minifigure stands. I'm using this part because I actually, again, I would have liked to have a 1x10 for this. Again, the parts list will have the 1x10, but I've used what I had in my parts list. So you can see all I'm trying to do is put those parts together. So minifigure stand, 1x4 tile, 4x4 modified tile, there we go, making up my 6, and then a 1x4 tile and another base plate, and that's the side done. Easy as that. And then in terms of actually adding in parts here, we take 2 of these. Now ideally in the parts list you've got 2, well there's 6 of these in the parts list, okay? In my set here, because I didn't have those parts, I've used a mixture of colours. I will be replacing those and buying more to do this. So put those on there. I've put them right at the end there because I personally like it really aligned across gaps. I hate having things not supported, which is, you know, sometimes can make things a little bit heavy, but you can see it better there with the grey. So it's going across the 4, the 1 and the minifigure stand there, and again that's it. That's a side done. So there's our end, there's our side. Now to do the ends, ideally you would like 4 of these. So let's see if I can get a good focus on that. There we go. So these are the 1x1s with studs on 2 sides. And I want those 4 of those in black and 4 of those in the light grey, and you'll see why in a second. Now these are going to join all the sides together and we're going to build a column of them. So first of all, take a 1x1 plate on the top, another 1x1 plate on the top, and the reason you're doing that is to make sure the size is right. Then another one of your 1x1s with studs on 2 sides, not one side, in the light grey. So this is going to sit at the top, and this is what I was saying about that dash of colour that I like. So I've made it dark and then light, and then those are just going to sit on the corners here like that. So they just give a little bit of extra rigidity to make sure these ends don't come apart, literally. And you can see why that is so important there. So it's unfortunate that I didn't have the part to do that one. It's one of those, I was going through my parts bucket. I'm going to repeat that, and I swore I had loads and loads and loads of those, and I don't. So I don't know how I made that mistake. It's unfortunate, but anyway, I made that mistake. Now I'm going to put the sides together. So let's put the two I didn't dismantle back on there. There we go. And then let's put our corners on here. So that's going to go on there. So you can see how the corners all sit together. We'll put this end on here like that. Take a little bit of finesse. There we go. And then we'll put the other side on there. And you can see why those corner pieces are so vital, because they hold it all together. They just, you know, make sure the corners don't come apart. And that's it. All put together. That is the wagon. Simple as that. And now just to do the lamp on the end. One of these 1x1 tiles with the open back. So this is like the old style of these clips they used to do. And the reason you have this one is because you can actually attach that to something, which is really useful. Then I've got a 1x1 flat red tile. Goes on there, and then just one of these on top, just because it gives it a bit more shape, makes it look a bit more lamp-like. You can probably go a bit further with that one, but that again was parts I had in there. And just stick that on the end, on this plate you have here. The nice thing, those studs, because it's tiled, just sits there perfectly, absolutely perfectly. And that, as I say, that is how you make a very simple open top wagon for your train track. You know, you can make big versions of this, and there's lots of images around, but this is, as I said, I wanted these small ones. I've got another one of the hidden side carts here, which is going to get destroyed. It's you know, I get the idea of it, but I didn't buy this set for this, but had great parts in it. My kids like the stickers. It's got a laser, you know, wow, yay. It's actually quite a well designed laser. Might reuse that laser. But anyway, that's going to get remade. Didn't really need to include that in this video. Might edit that out. There's my coal car. So that was my wagon tutorial. I'd like to know your thoughts on that one in the comments below. Did you find it useful? Did I pace the actual tutorial right? I have been told a few times I've done a few things too quickly, so I've tried to moderate it a bit. It means the video is a bit longer, but it made easier to follow, I hope. It's a pretty simple build, as I said. It's not like the Hogwarts Express one where I had to sort of do a lot more work to actually make that work, but I think it's pretty simple. I think it's good. Let me know though if you found it useful. If you're going to try and build this, build a fleet of these, if you've got some ideas. I'd love people's ideas on putting bits underneath here as well, because I mean that's obviously quite a simple thing I've put in there. That's not final, that was just what I had in terms of parts. I like to build and play with things. I'm a tactile person in that respect. I don't use studio and things like that. I like to buy bricks, which means I end up with spare bricks that I couldn't use or weren't needed for something, and I don't have the right parts. Like as I said, I ran out of the corner parts I wanted for here. But do you like the colour tone as well? Like, is that good, the black and the light grey? Or, you know, you can even do black and white, or I even use some more vivid colours like those orange plates you get. The orange minifigure bases are perfect for this. And again, like this, using these plates with the studs on them to actually give a bit of depth and colour to it. I think, you know, a bit of depth to these sides I think really works as well. I did originally play with doing this with just plain 1x4 tiles. Really, it was boring. It's the best description I can come up with for it. It was boring. I think this is much more interesting, much more functional. And, you know, I've left a couple of bits exposed here because I actually think that I've got the studs to put on there, the 1x1 tiles, but I didn't think it looked good with them. I actually thought that little bit of sort of unfinished roughness made it that much better. So yeah. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit subscribe. I post regularly about all sorts of things. I especially like trains, and I'm going to try and do one of these a month now. So any feedback you give me will go into the next video for certain. Be sure to share this video. It gives me traffic here, and make sure you like it as well so YouTube knows you've enjoyed it. Or dislike it. I mean, it means you cared about it, so why not? And here's a couple more links to other channels I have online. Go and check those out, because I do post other things on there all the time. I do post different content across those channels. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now and say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.